Hello, this is Kevin from Health Agent Academy. Thank you for joining us. And in this video, we're going to show you how to transfer your license to your new home state. So if you are moving and you're looking to make sure that you've got the process in order for moving your license from one state to another, you are in the right place. So our objective here is really just to show you how to transfer your license, give you basically an overview of how to transfer your license to your new state, and give you tips to make the transition go as smoothly as possible, because ultimately you want this to go simply and not get too complicated. So just to give you a quick overview of what the process looks like, generally speaking, now of course it's always going to be nuanced depending on what state you're coming from and going to, but typically what's going to happen is you're going to surrender your resident license in your old state. Do whatever you need to do to meet the requirements of your new state, and that could vary depending on what kind of reciprocal agreement there is between your old state and your new state that you're moving to. So for example, most states have some sort of reciprocal agreement. What that really just means is they're saying your agents can basically move to our state and have to go through all the same pre-licensing requirements that a new agent would have to go through because they were licensed, and as long as you allow our agents to do the same as well. So that's basically what a reciprocal agreement is. And sometimes the reciprocal agreements basically either take away most of the requirements or a few of the requirements just to make it a little more simple. And in some cases, people have to start almost over from scratch. So either way, you want to make sure you meet the requirements in your new state. And once you've done that and you've applied and done all the fees and got everything in order, then you have your resident license in your new home state, and you're on your way to transact business and sell policies and help more clients. All right, so here's a few tips for a smooth transition. Always double check the requirements of the new state. So just because maybe you've transferred your license from one state to another, or you had heard about someone who had done so, or you already know someone that moved to the state you're going to, always double check the requirements, because they do have a tendency to change from time to time. There's been a lot of work the last several years to make the process more uniform, but it still is very nuanced from state to state. So you always want to make sure that you are double checking those requirements. And then also make sure your former state is aware, because sometimes you're going to have to get letters from them. You're going to have to maybe fill out a form of some sort to surrender your license. So whatever the case is that you have to do to go through that process, just make sure that you do that. And then also you want to make sure that you update your appointments and any other non-resident licenses that you have. So if you switch your resident license from one state to another state and you have a whole bunch of other non-resident licenses in other states, those resident licenses are going to be tied to your old address, tied to your old insurance license from the former state. So you're going to want to update all those as well as the appointments too, because those are still going to be tied together. So just make sure that you've got all that in order. Typically with appointments, you can always get help from, if you have your appointments going through a general agency or an IMO or an FMO, they'll usually pretty much help you with that. Or you can go to the insurance carrier themselves, and they'll usually at least point you in the right direction of what you need to do to make sure that you are compliant and up to date. So just going to show you real quick how you can look up some of those requirements for your new state. All right, so I'm here on the National Insurance Producer Registry, and it shows state by state what the requirements are to get a license. Now, generally speaking, it's for a new resident license is what it shows, but it's good to at least see what the requirements are state by state. And as far as reciprocity, it's good to check on the specific state's website, but this is a good starting place. So you could at least get the state's contact info and all that fun stuff here, and also I have a link down below so you can get to this page. Now, just to use my home state of Florida as an example, click on this. It takes me to Florida's page, and on it shows here you can see what type of licenses you can get, how to print the license. This is really more the specific rules as to what they're looking for. It's going to be pretty similar to most other states. Now, everything, of course, as I've said before, is a little nuanced. What their requirements are for background checks and background in order to get approved and all that. So also down below you can see what their fees are. Now if you wanted to look up their contact information, which I think is always a good idea to do, just to reach out, just to confirm what the exact requirements are. Sometimes it's good just to get clarification from a person. If you click on here, it shows their phone number. It does for they've got this on the NIPR website for just about every other state as well. Now, what I also would recommend doing is if you wanted to see reciprocal agreements, a quick Google search could show you particular states and what their requirements are from a reciprocity standpoint. Now, I'm just going to use Florida as an example. So you can see here, this is what the reciprocity agreements are. So there's certain states, Florida has a full reciprocity agreement, so it's pretty much just reapplying in Florida after you've surrendered your license. And then also here where it says states with no reciprocity, so this you're starting a little bit more from scratch, but it's not quite that simple from what I've seen before. So that's why I always recommend reaching out to the state where you're moving to, just to make sure you got all the ducks in a row. And then also there's some states where they have conditional reciprocity, so it depends on how long has it been since you got your license as to what requirements they may have. Just because if you've been more recent, gotten your license, you've at least gone through their training more recently and things of that nature, so you're more up to date on current standards in the insurance business is, I guess, the way they would look at it. So I would always recommend, again, check the reciprocity agreements, talk to a human being just to make sure that you've got that down, just to make it smooth. At the end of the day, you want it to be smooth. You don't want to be in a situation where you've got a bunch of clients you want to put applications in for and realize you're not compliant on having your license intact. So that's not a good situation. So always just double check when you're moving from one state to another that you've done everything properly, or that you've got all your ducks in a row to submit your application. All right, so I would just like to say thank you for joining us on this video. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to this channel or leave a comment below or give us a like on this video. It does help others to find this channel and our videos and hopefully help them out as well. And also you can go to healthagentacademy.com and download our free resource guide to help you level up no matter where you are in your insurance career. And we've got a link down below where you can go to download that free resource guide as well. So again, thank you for joining us, and I just would like to wish you best wishes for your continued success in your insurance career. Thank you.